Jai Guru. Question. Can you speak about the importance of Bootcamp and what Maharaj referred to as the spiritual cocktail? Answer. Bootcamp means practical training. It is an essential cleansing process that will undo and remove all the illusory layers and add-ons that have attached themselves to your presence. This is done by using a combination of practices, or what Maharaj called a spiritual cocktail, of self-inquiry, mantra recitation, meditation, and devotion. Without Bootcamp, there will be no purification, which means that spiritual knowledge will just sit on top of the ego instead of being absorbed. These practices will remove the thoughts, ideas, points of view, stances, impressions, everything that was acquired by the body-mind. It is essential that the ground is completely cleared and cleaned before planting any seeds. Nothing will grow in the soil unless you root out all the weeds produced from ignorance that were taking up your precious space. Sweep away all these fake seeds because they are not part of your essential nature. They are not part of who you are, and they will prevent the flower of truth from blossoming. We need to use some tools such as self-inquiry, reciting a mantra, meditating, as well as devotion and singing bhajans. Put briefly, the practice of self-inquiry using neti-neti is essential for you to find out firsthand what you are not. Then you can remove everything about yourself that is not true. The mantra's job is one of hammering the ego. A mantra is a concentration tool that weakens the resistant mind. Reciting a mantra lets the mind know who is in charge and running the whole show, i.e., the authentic ruler. Meditation is necessary to establish your reality. Here, basic meditation involves churning the knowledge of your reality, that you are unborn, limitless, the source, prior to beingness, etc., and not letting your concentration stray. It means keeping your attention fixed on your reality until that ultimate reality that you are is permanently established. And when this happens, you will no longer need to put in any effort. Listening to or singing bhajans will also help you absorb the knowledge. It is another effective medium that will keep the thoughts at bay, while at the same time creating and maintaining a happy and uplifting atmosphere. Together, these tools work to remove all the illusory layers, similar to the way a potent cocktail removes our inhibitions. The overall aim is to supplant the idea, the false notion of I am the body, with the truth of I am ultimate reality. If this truth just remains theoretical, it will not work. There has to be a deep and direct conviction. In other words, there must be total acceptance. All these aids are necessary to kick the old tenants out of your house, bring about a successful shift in perspective, and eventually take you out of duality. When you were trapped in the imaginary world, you identified with people, places and things, which kept you in a constant state of flux. You became slaves of the mind, the ego, and the intellect. You will no longer have to follow the mind, but instead turn it around and develop the habit of letting the mind follow you. Bootcamp's primary aim is to disempower the mind and reveal your original stateless state. You are unborn. You are prior to beingness. Asking the question, who am I, is the most critical question you can ask because it opens the door to the infinite. When you sift through all of the concepts, shake them up and loosen your attachments to the false and the transient, then your natural, endless source will open up and reveal itself. Self-inquiry helps to shift your attention from the imaginary world of the seen to the seer. It removes the obstacles that are taking up space and cluttering up your vastness, the incessant noise of the mind that prevents you from hearing silence. When that disturbing hum stops and the thoughts lessen, a pure and beautiful silent space will emerge. Now, self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is particularly useful in the beginning of the process of dismantling all the ideas and notions you have about yourself. While you cannot stop the thoughts from flowing, as that is the nature of the mind, nevertheless, you can catch them before they catch you, before they have had a chance to leave their impressions or begin to multiply. What are the aims of the self-inquiry process? Discrimination and discernment between the false and the real. Self-inquiry frees us from our illusory mental prisons, disempowers and reduces our thoughts, and brings about the disappearance of the illusory thinker. That primary I thought, mind ego, is the culprit, responsible for identifying with all the thoughts and concepts. It is the hook on which all the other thoughts and ideas hang. That pseudo-ego has only managed to survive because we have been giving all our attention and interest to the thoughts without any discrimination. All thought is unreal, and all thought is fleeting. You are prior to consciousness, prior to thought, prior to words. Now, mantra. You can view a mantra as the thorn that will remove the existing unwanted thorn. The current thorn is, I am the body, and its replacement is, I am ultimate reality. The continuous reciting of a mantra hammers the ego and effectively dissolves body-based knowledge, eventually establishing you as ultimate reality. This kind of hammering or repetition of your reality establishes you in your truth. Eventually, you will realize that nothing exists except selfless self. There is nothing apart from selfless self. There is only one principle, and you are that. The sacred Nam mantra has been passed down the lineage for over 1,000 years. It is a sacred utterance and numinous sound, where the vibration and the meaning are one and the same. Reciting this mantra can be seen as a corrective process that acts as a constant reminder of who or what you are. It will help take you out of illusion and eventually pave the way back home. If you do not have the Nam, you can use Aham Brahmasmi. Reciting this mantra will dissolve your strong thoughts and concepts, melting the remnants of the illusory you, who still considers yourself to be somebody. Let the antivirus do its thing and uproot all your buried hurts and memories of, for example, anger, violation, betrayal, injustice, etc. Put an end to your suffering by disidentifying from the body form and going beyond your illusory wounds and scars. Reciting a mantra is a simple antidote to illusion. How do these mantras work? By engaging the mind and stopping activity. Intellectual and egoistic activity stops spontaneously with the reciting of the mantra. And at the same time, spirit presence begins to flow outwards as it is reminded of its identity, its reality. When you adopt this practice, the mind quietens down and a peaceful space comes to the fore. Don't strain your brain trying to understand how it works or if it is working at all. Just continue to recite the mantra with total commitment and concentration. Now, meditation. Meditation on your true nature will deepen your understanding, enabling you to dwell as your natural state in that field of reality. How do you do that? For example, contemplate the truth of I am ultimate reality. What does it mean? What are the implications? Ponder this. There is only one reality, and you are that reality. If everything is that reality, that means everything is within you. Ponder this. Let that truth touch your heart. Or practice churning the powerful truth, I am prior to beingness, or I am unborn. Calmly reflect on your true identity, that stateless state before beingness, in this way. I exist, I have always existed, but not as a body-mind. How was I? Meditating like this draws you closer to your unidentified identity. Here, you're not looking for answers, but instead, tapping into your transcendent nature, your source, and bathing in that sacred atmosphere, that river of light. At the advanced stage, when there is nothing left to dwell upon, because the gap between knowing and being has been bridged, you will be established in your natural state, without the you, of course. And when this happens, your efforts will no longer be needed. Meditation in the real sense is not something you can do. It is indwelling, synonymous with what you are. When knowing and being are one, only then is real abidance possible, day and night, night and day, in that unlimited self that you are. Practice meditation, remembering and dwelling on your true identity 24/7 and keeping the focus of your attention on the source. Concentrate on your essence, your reality. Stay with your reality at all times. With practice, meditation will become a way of spontaneously living life as you are in your true essence, at one with the source that is your reality. Don't involve yourself in any thought processes. Why would you, when you have nothing to do with that? You are nothing to do with that. You are the witness that is always standing at the bank of the river. You're not flowing with the thoughts, but letting them pass by like a meandering river. Don't take delivery of them. Don't be upset by them. And don't judge them. And now devotion. Devotion includes puja or worship to the masters, bowing to them, surrendering to them, expressing your gratitude, as well as devotional singing. When you are singing, the mind quietens down. Singing bhajans connects us to our divinity, to the one source. They are not expressions of worshipping an external deity, because there is only one reality, and you are that. You are that presence, that selfless self, that inner guru you are singing to, singing about, and for want of a better word, that you are worshipping. Here the illusory triad of worship, worshipper, and worshipped are, of course, one and the same. You are all three in one. With conviction, you're giving praise to yourself. You're filled with gratitude, love, and pure joy because you know that everything is within you. And not only that, you wish to express your thanks and humility. In other words, you're blessing yourself in recognition of the supreme opportunity you have been given to know yourself. Bhajans or kirtan celebrate your selfless self. They plug you into your source. If you take Bootcamp seriously, you will witness a beautiful self-transformation. And when the pseudo-self is demolished, your training at Bootcamp will be finished. For a fuller explanation, please see the practice section in the book, Who Am I? Jai Guru.